Hello again, Ryan Black, real estate investor here, and in today's quick investing tip, I'm going to share with you my top 5 improvements that you can make to your property to maximize your net profit. Now, usually these quick investing tips that I do are geared towards investors. However, today's tip also applies to anyone who owns property. So let's say you have your primary residence and you're going to consider selling it. This also applies to you. These are 5 things you're going to want to look at doing in order to really maximize that profit that you get when you sell the property. So let's dive in. Now, these things are not in any particular order. However, they are all important. So the first one is paint. Now, when we look at painting, there's really 2 sides of it, right? We have exterior and then we have interior. On exterior painting, I usually wouldn't recommend that you have to do that unless when your buyer is going to pull up in front of the house, they're going to say, man, this place looks abandoned. Or this place looks like it's, been really, let go of for a long time ago. If the outside looks decent, right? If it looks good, usually we're not going to worry about the exterior paint. What I'm talking about when I talk about paint is on the inside, because that's where you are most of the time. That's where you get, maybe some patchwork that had to be done on the walls, some damage, the scuffs, the handprints, the dirt, the grime. It's all on the inside. And you can tell. When a house hasn't been painted in a long time, you can notice that it's just old, nasty paint. The other thing is over time, paint does fade with the ultraviolet rays from the sun. So you will get different variations. Like even if you had the house was all the same color, over time, there's going to be different splotches and it's just not going to be even. It's not going to look as nice. So, when we're looking at interior paint, we want to, it's really not that expensive to do. Obviously, if it's a bigger house, it's going to be more expensive. But putting a fresh coat of paint inside the house not only gives a wonderful first impression when your buyer walks through the door of like, ooh, this looks really nice. Is, if you have maybe some interesting color selections that you or somebody else made in the past, maybe some accent walls or things that you want to get rid of and just have it nice and open and airy. I would go with lighter tones because lighter tones make it feel larger and lighter and happier. And so, something similar, well, not this is an accent wall, but typically we do very, very light whites or light grays on our walls, because that will give a very open, spacious, light, happy feeling. The other thing is, when you do paint, when people walk in, if you paint it right before you list it, they will smell it. And right, one of the 5 senses, you walk in and, ooh, fresh paint. So you've already made a good impression on the buyer that, ooh, this paint is brand new. So if you can still smell it, I like that, because then people will know for sure, ooh, I like this. It's fresh and clean. So paint is a big one. Next one is flooring. Now, right, you walk in, you see the walls. Also, obviously, you see the floors. There's nothing more disturbing when walking through a potential property that you want to purchase than seeing a bunch of nasty, grody carpet that's all stained and black and has marks. Maybe it's torn and damaged or crushed from the furniture. It gives off just not the vibe that you want to go for to maximize your net profit. And so obviously, like when we're doing flips and things like that, we always replace the carpet. But if you have carpeting that is outdated, that's no longer in style, the colors don't match with the interior, you can do a cheaper carpet and it will look really nice. And once again, new carpet also smells. We talk about the new car smell, right? When you buy a new car and that smell there's also a new house smell as well. And the new house smell is primarily paint and carpet because they're still off-gassing because they're brand new and they were just installed. So if you want to make even an older house smell like a brand new house, fresh paint and new carpet will give you that same smell. And that will help you to be able to make more. Now, if you're talking about other types of flooring, right, common flooring, we have LVP, which is luxury vinyl planks. We have standard old laminate flooring, hardwood flooring, either engineered or straight hardwood. There are we have tile, ceramic, porcelain, tile, things like that. There are different types. Typically in the the main areas nowadays, a lot of people like to have hard surface floors because they're easier to clean and they look really nice. And so depending on what type of flooring you currently have, how old it is, how scuffed up it is, you might want to consider throwing in some new flooring. But that is one thing that absolutely, pretty standard on all the properties we're doing. We either put in a hardwood or LVP, depending on what's on sale, what we can get a good price on. If we can get the hardwood for about the same price as the LVP, we'll go with that because that does give a little more value to the property. A lot of people, really, especially people who are going to be having kids or who have little kids, having that waterproof, the LVP flooring really makes a big difference because you don't have to worry about it like you do with the hardwood. So you got to understand who your buyer is and put in the appropriate type of flooring for them. But bottom line is, whether you're doing tile, LVP, hardwood, carpet, figure out something that looks nice. You can get cheap flooring. Local flooring suppliers, a lot of times they will have sales or out of stock clearance where they're trying to get rid of a SKU that they're no longer going to carry. So you can get 500 square feet or 600 square feet of really nice flooring for really cheap. So if you just have a smaller area that you need to update, you can get super nice flooring on the cheap as long as you have enough. And it makes a huge difference when your buyers come in and they see, ooh, look at the fresh paint. Oh, these floors are beautiful. More money for you. Okay, next up we have kitchen countertops. Now, sometimes folks in their counters, they'll have like Formica laminate countertops. Maybe they'll have cement countertops or tile, quartz, some other type of composite, maybe granite. Marble, not very common. Most homes don't have that. But I would say, laminate countertops and granite are probably the most common that we see in most houses. And finding the right supplier, shopping around, you can get stone countertops for pretty cheap. And that really makes a big difference because when buyers are coming into the house, they're looking at, well, what's the first place they want to look? It's the kitchen. What's the second place they want to look? The master bed, more like the master bath, right? Master bedroom, master bath. But the kitchen is the first thing. So we've already made a good first impression coming in, seeing the paint and the flooring. Oh, this is nice. It's open, it's airy, it's clean, it's happy. And then walk in the kitchen. The first thing they're going to notice are the countertops. If they're janky, old, ugly countertops, that's not going to help you. And so, investing in updating the countertops really can make a big difference in maximizing your net profit on the deal. The next one, number 4, that kind of goes along with that are kitchen cabinets. Now, kitchen cabinets can be a lot more expensive than just the countertops because the cabinets, depending on the size of the kitchen, of course, that can run you 3 to 6 times the cost of doing just the countertops, doing the cabinets. With this, you have a couple of options. Depending on how old the cabinets are and how ugly they are, you can either just change the hardware, right? If they're decent looking cabinets, but maybe the handles on them are from the 1960s, go down to the hardware store and buy some replacement handles, hardware, hand pull handles, and swap those out. That'll make them look more modern. With certain types of wood, pretty much anything except oak. Painting oak cabinets usually doesn't look very nice because there's so much grain to them. But anything other than oak, you can paint the cabinets, or you could restain them as well. That's a lot more expensive, a lot more involved. But you could just do a paint over and repaint the cabinets. And then if you did that and put on some new hardware, then that may look a lot nicer than what you currently have. At the end of the day, if they're really not salvageable and maybe the rest of the house is really nice, but the kitchen is still kind of funky, tear out the cabinets and put in new ones. When it comes to cabinets, you have different options. You can either go with a custom cabinet manufacturer. That's going to be the most expensive. You can go with kind of a discount cabinetry company where they have preset sizes. That'll be a lot cheaper. You're not going to be able to customize as much, but you'll be able to at least get more or less the kitchen you want. Or you could go to like a big box store or hardware store, and they have either kind of a design center there where you can design your own one, and they also have just in stock cabinets that you can buy and install or have a handyman install for you. So you have different options as far as cabinets with, of course, different price points, and depending on your house, the price point and the area that you're in is going to determine which type of cabinets you're going to want to look at for if you decide to go down that route. And number 5 is that of bathrooms, right? And this one is another one that can be quite costly depending on what needs to be done. But you got to realize that when buyers come in and they're looking at a house, when we go in as investors, we're simply looking at seeing, okay, how much is it going to cost me to change all this, right? And update everything. We don't care. We just care that the numbers work. But when we're talking about the end buyer who's coming to the property, they're walking through there, and it's an emotional purchase for them. So they want to see, they can't visualize, oh, the future potential. Oh, we could do this, we could do that. It's really hard for end buyers to do that. And so we want to make sure that we are serving to them that vision, not of the future potential of currently what it is, because they can't visualize that. So bathrooms, right? Kitchen is first, and then they're going to go to the master and look at the master bath. And so if it's like, I don't know, like baby blue or pink, like because it was, because it's 50 years old and that's what was in style then, that's not going to go over very well. And so remodeling that bathroom and putting in, some modern tile on the floor, getting a nice new vanity, maybe some vessel sinks or, some nice undermount sinks, something that's just really sharp looking, a nice shower, either walk-in shower or a tub, depending on the layout, right? But just updating it, doing a nice, elongated comfort height toilet, all these little details that if you put it in the bathroom, they'll walk in and say, oh, this is a nice bathroom. This is what I would like to bathe in here every morning, right? And so that's another thing. Can be more costly, but one thing you want to consider and look at, because a bedroom's a bedroom, right? It's got a closet, it's got space to put a bed. There's really not much. They're all about the same. When buyers are looking at houses, obviously they're looking at location, they're looking at curb appeal, but they spend most of the time inside the house. And so they're looking at, well, what's the kitchen like? What are the gathering areas like? What's the master bedroom like? And what are the bathrooms like? So bathrooms is another one. So those are my top 5 things that I would say you should consider. Now, I'll give you a bonus one. Actually, I'll give you 2 bonuses. 2 bonuses. So 2 bonus tips, and this might sound silly, but check your light bulbs, okay? There's nothing more just hokey than going into a property as a potential buyer and seeing that, half of the light bulbs are burned out, or every room has a different color temperature of light, right? You have daylight, 5,000 Kelvin daylight bulbs in one room, and then 2,700 Kelvin warm white bulbs in the next room. Like it's really janky. It's really weird. And so you want to have that consistency across where color temperature of the bulbs are there. All the bulbs are actually working, right? If you have like a sconce fixture in a bathroom that has 4 bulbs and 3 of them are burnt out or taken out and there's only one, not only does it look bad, you want more light in the house. Now, you personally may not want a lot of light. You may like living in a darker environment. But you got to remember that more light makes the area seem larger, happier, more spacious, and newer. And so you want as much light as possible. So if you're putting in the bulbs, you usually get higher wattage bulbs, because the higher wattage is going to bring a lot more. I mean, you don't want to like blind them, but you want to get enough wattage so that it really opens up the space and makes it really nice. So color temperature, making sure they all work, and making sure you have enough lumens. Get the higher wattage bulbs so that it really illuminates the area nicely. The other bonus number 2, and this only applies if you are living in the house as a homeowner and you're selling your primary or whatever. Clean up the clutter. Now, if you have an agent, they're going to tell you to do this, right? They're going to have you clean up the house. But you got to realize, some people think, they say, well, it doesn't matter, it's just my stuff. People are here to buy the house. What you got to realize is, even though people are looking at the house, their eyeballs and their brain notice everything. And so if you have clutters, if you have mess, if you have stuff all around, it's not helping you, because the furniture can truly make or break a property. And that's one reason why we stage so many of our properties. We do a phenomenal job on the rehab, but then we turn around and stage it with really nice furniture. Why? Because we make more money when we do that. Not because it affects anything on the property, but because the emotional buyers, when they come in and see this really nice, decorated interior with the furniture and everything, it looks really, really good. They love that, and then they want to pay more. So that is the other thing. Clean up the clutter. And if you have really old, not nice furniture, you might want to move out first and then list it, because if it's really going to detract, it's in some instances it's actually better if you have a lot of clutter or things to wait until the property is vacant and then selling it or listing it, because otherwise people, even if it's a really nice house, they'll come in and they'll be distracted by all the junk, and you're not going to make as much money. So those are my 5 tips for how to maximize your net profit on the next sale of your property, whether you're an investor or whether you are owner-occupant, just trying to get maybe upgrade and get that next primary residence for you and your family. Now, I hope you've enjoyed today's tip. It's a little bit longer than most of them, but hopefully you enjoyed it. Now, as I said before, I'm Ryan Black, real estate investor, and I have helped hundreds of people all around the country get started in real estate investing. So if you are interested in investing in real estate, I say, hey, let's chat. Let's discuss some of your goals and see how I can help you make them a reality. So I invite you to go to my website, ryanblackrei.com, and click on the big button on the homepage that says schedule a strategy call, so we can have a call. Love to chat with you, get to know you, and see how I might be able to help you achieve your real estate investing goals. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.